G'day guys, this one is a quickie. This one is this week's design team layout for Crazy Craft Obsession. And if you wish to order anything from their online store, the link is in the description, and I will let you know that it is an affiliate link, and if you do purchase from their store, I do get a small commission. Now, moving on, what are we using? We are using the VICKI BOUTIN Sweet Rush Confetti paper and the VICKI BOUTIN Colour Study Linear paper. I wanted to, with this particular, like I've said to you guys 1,000 times, I don't necessarily always buy all of a collection. So I buy bits and pieces. Now, this particular piece of paper, I liked the spots, not necessarily the configuration they were in. So, and a couple of the colours I didn't overly love. So I I cut them up and pulled out the ones I loved and excluded the ones that weren't going to serve my purpose. So now I've got this thing in my head lately. I really am enjoying the line running from the top to the bottom, sort of a vertical kind of layout, if you get where I'm going. I'm really enjoying that for some reason at the moment. I don't know why. It's just something, I do a few layouts in a certain way and then I move on and think about something else, and who knows? It's just the way my quirky little brain thinks. So what can I tell you about, if you're a Queenslander, how cool is it at the moment? Wow, man, we're only in May, 3rd of May when I'm recording this, right? 2023, in case it's years from now. And I got to tell you, she's a bit chilly. Woo, mate. It is like, look, we don't get snow or anything. We're flat out seeing a cool day, let alone a cold day. So, it was one of those moments. So I got up this morning and my kids, they didn't want to get motivated for school. Hubby was more than happy to just stay in the toasty warm bed at that point, but that's okay. So I decided that I wanted to bring in some mixed media, but I wanted to be super specific with it. You know how normally I just go willy-nilly and I just create chaos with my mixed media. I didn't want to do that today. Today, I wanted to show you that mixed media does not have to be insanely messy. Now, I'm using the Distress Oxide sprays. Now, the term spray would automatically assume that you're going to get that absolutely everywhere, all over the place. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now, this is the packaging technique, okay? This is something that somebody coined at some point. You just use a piece of old packaging, you spray the ink on, put the paint on, some sort of, medium that you want to use, and I've chosen obviously the Distress Oxide sprays, and it doesn't have to be insanely messy. As you can see, I am really controlling where this is going. This is just a flat white cardstock. There is no gesso on the page. It's not, to be honest with you, I should have pulled out my mixed media foundations paper, the VICKI BOUTIN foundations paper. That would have just made it a full VICKI BOUTIN page, but I digress. So, as you can see, I've created very specific patches, very, very specific bits and pieces. When you spray these sprays, if you hold it back, you get quite the circle and the overspray. But if you hold the spray bottle nice and close to the spot that you're spraying on, you can get these little teeny tiny sprays and they don't mix together. And if you're very careful with how you flip it over, you can get this nice, when I do my splats, right? You know how I like the tiny little splats? Well, that's what I was doing with this, but I wanted to show you another way of doing it. So you can get that similar effect, but with less mess. So I know some of you want to try, I know you want to try mixed media and you're a bit scared because you don't want your entire crafting space, or you might use your kitchen table, you know, or you might even be using a kitchen bench, you know. Whatever you are doing, you can contain it. It doesn't have to be a nightmare. The best bit of advice I can give you is paper towel is your friend. It will keep everything, it will absorb these mediums, and because everything's water-based, you can just spray some water down and it lifts it right off straight away. Okay, so don't be afraid to give it a bit of a crack and see if this is something that you would actually like to use, because it seems scary because it's in a spray. Now, I will also tell you, you get a ton. I know these bottles look small. They're 57 mils. So you think about 57 mils, you think it's pretty small, okay? But they go a really, really long way. Now, I will tell you, they come with a mixing ball in the bottle, but I have purchased metal. I will read what they are. I think they're stainless steel balls. Now, I bought them from Amazon. What I've actually gone and done is I've actually dropped an extra 2 balls into all of my Distress Oxide sprays, because having the 3 balls in there, they mix beautifully. They don't fill up, like, it mixes really easily. It agitates easier, and I find it doesn't matter how I shake it up, it doesn't go up the spray tube just by adding those couple of extra balls. Now, those balls cost me all of, I think it was $10 from Amazon. So totally worthwhile. And I think I got 100. I think I got 100 in that pack. So it's definitely worthwhile investing if you're going to go down this path. Now, the stamps that I'm using are Darkroom Door, and they are called Mini Marks, I think they're called. Let me see if I can find, I did write it down. I didn't write it down. Okay. I will, they're rubber stamps. They're by Darkroom Door. They are, yep, it's called Mini Marks. And all I'm doing is I've pulled in my Distress Oxide ink pads. I've pulled in Black Soot, Lost Shadow, and Hickory Smoke, because I wanted a couple of different grey-black tones. I didn't want it to just be straight black on top. Now, always remember, whenever you're doing mixed media, you're going to cover certain parts of it up with ephemera, or in this case, my circles. It's going to cover some of it up, right? That's okay. So you go to town in the background, and as you can see, only parts of it is poking out. I've got to be honest, the amount of yellow that I covered up, I did cover up some of the little teeny tiny spots that I really liked, but you know what? It comes together in the end, and I love this layout. It's bright, it's colourful, and I absolutely love it. Now, at this point, I was thinking to myself, right, now, is this really where I want to go? Is this the direction? I was really loving the bright colours. That is something that I love scrapbooking, the bright colours. These colours, I actually bought this piece of paper. I know this is so random, but do you ever purchase a specific collection or a specific sheet of paper, which is what I did here, purely because you have a specific photo that you want to scrap because it's a memory? I know that sounds random, but Taylor in this particular photo, she's got blue hair, okay, because she was going through her phase of blue hair and whatnot. And she had a tie-dye shirt on that she had made. And because it was all the colours of the rainbow, I just went, you know what? This paper would work totally, absolutely perfectly. So then I decided that I was going to pull out now all of these, I bought all of these that I'm showing you at the moment, all these stickers. I bought them all through Crazy Craft Obsession, and I pulled them all out because I thought, you know what, I could use these. But then I decided, no, I didn't want to use that. And then I was debating, I was really stuck. I'll be honest with you guys. My brain was a little bit stuck. It didn't really know what the next step was. And I think I struggled because it was all bright and there was no dark contrast anywhere. So I went and grabbed one of my PRIMA stamps, Secret Notes, and again, you can get that from Crazy Craft Obsession. They have lots of them. It doesn't have to be the same exact one, but Secret Notes, these are little teeny tiny stamps, and they just, I call them mark making stamps because you don't technically want to know what it's written on it. It's just for texture in the background. So I went around the border with hickory smoke and I thought, yeah, that looks okay, but not quite. So then I sprayed a little bit of the mustard seed Distress Oxide on my mat, and I was putting that over and I thought, you know what, that's working. I'm getting what I want. Then I came in with the pink. Now this was picked raspberry, and because I was going over the hickory smoke, my brain at this point, I don't even know what my brain was doing. I was actually having a bit of a moment, and for some reason, I was thinking that the picked raspberry is going to go over the top of the Distress Oxide, but hello, they're both water reactive. So all I was doing was creating mud. So I had to stop, take a step back for a minute and realize what you're doing. So I grabbed a flat end brush instead of my watercolor brush, and I added the color, but I sort of see how I've curved it in. So I'm actually putting the color on the white part of my layout, and I really like that. I'm happy with that. I think that looks really good. Now, these titles, these are thickers. These are the Fernwood thickers, and I've used these a lot, and I'll be honest with you, I love them. I really do like this kind of title. Just for a quick title, for a quick pull it together sort of moment. And because they're white chipboard, but you can paint them, you can color them, you can do whatever you want to do to them. You could put glue on there, you could do foiling on them, you could stamp over the top of that if you wanted to. You could do anything you wanted to do to these things. Now, I decided that I would pull in the same colors that I used on the outside edge and on the mixed media, because they're all still sitting in front of me, and I'm just opening my Distress Oxide bottle because it's already liquid and I've already shaken it up, and I'm just going through, and I am cleaning my brush in between, don't worry, I'm not contaminating each one, but I'm just painting from my Distress Oxide bottles basically. And because they've already shaken up and stuff, but I didn't want to add water to it, because so the Distress Oxides, when you put them down, as you can see with the mixed media on here, they haven't oxidized because I haven't added water to them. They are just a paint color basically. And that's what I'm doing here with the title. I didn't want the oxides to oxidize. I wanted to just use them as a straight color, and I absolutely love it. I love how it turned out. All the colors match. I was really, really happy with that. I was still procrastinating. I wasn't really finished with the border. I liked the border, but I didn't love it. So I kept going for a little bit longer. Sorry, I need a drink. Gee whiz. Okay. So sorry about that. So I was going over and I had coloured them all in. Now, I did go back over the green because I used Twisted Citron, and it's a beautiful colour. Absolutely love it. But it was throwing a bit more yellow than I wanted. So I just went over it with Mowed Lawn. Now, you can see here, I'm going around where the black is normally. I just wanted it to be a little bit more bold and pop a little bit more. So I just went around the title. I'm just going over the line that's already there. And I'm just adding a bit more black to it, just so it pops a little bit more. And I love how that looks. That's when it hit me. When I was doing this, it was about here I realized, now I know what's wrong with my border. So I've got the dark, I've put in some black soot on my layout with my stamping. I've now put black on Pizza Time. I needed to tie some black in the border. Now I'm going over where there is basically where the hickory smoke is. And I'm just doing blobs, you know, like pizza blobs. And I'm just going over it with my Posca paint pen. Now I get almost around here. Obviously I've done it all, so I have to keep going. But at the same time, I was like, oh, this is very flat. The other thing that I love to use on my layouts is some shine, whether it's reflection via an epoxy dot of some description, or maybe a pink fresh bit of bling, something along those lines. I needed something on the page. So I had already realized it at this point, but I had to keep going with my black pizza blobs because look, I'm 3/4 done. It is what it is. So as you can see, I'm just trying to very quickly color this in. I'm still in my mind at this point trying to work out how I'm going to salvage that moment. And that's when I realized, okay, I think I know what I can do. What if I pull in some NUVO drops? Now these are the NUVO crystal drops in ebony black. And you can get NUVO, they have some in stock. They have NUVO drops. But the other thing is, as well, you can also use liquid pearls for this. So you could use the Onyx Black liquid pearls and you would get the same effect. Now the thing that I know I'm going over the black I've already done, right? But it's adding shine, and it's that shine that the page was missing. So I decided that I'd put just a few dots through where the bright color is, just to tie all the black together. And I'm trying so hard not to put my hand in the black that's on the border, but I think it helps tie it all together. And I did pull in another couple of, I think I pulled in another, did I pull in any more? I thought I did. Oh, that's right, that's what I did. So now I've gone around with the black. I've just pulled in a quick spray of the oxides, and I'm just going around so you can see it just a little bit more. And I think that's what works. And that's my layout, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I like to leave in the good, the bad, and the ugly, and sometimes you try something and you think it's going to work and it just doesn't. So I'm here to show you that we all do it, and some layouts just fall together in a heartbeat and some don't. So now I'm giving you the close-up, but it's still wet. So I'm trying to be really, really careful. See how the NUVO crystal drops, see how they're shiny and you've got that bit of shimmer? I think that's what it works. The blobs around the border, you know, would I do it again? Probably not. Not my favorite thing. I would prefer them to be more symmetrical, but that's okay. So let me know what you think. As I said, this is a design team layout for Crazy Craft Obsession. So their link to their online store is in my description if you want to head over there and check out their products that they have. And this is pretty much me done. If you wouldn't mind, give me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now, guys.